Objection! Now, let us engage in the art of deduction. Mr. Narahoku. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
We hope you've enjoyed meeting the first 10 characters introduced so far. This is just the beginning, and there's much more to come. Before we move forward, however, we would like to take a moment to address some important developments regarding the server and the results of our January survey. Over the past 5 months, we've intentionally stayed quiet. During that time, the server's directive and structure have undergone major changes. The results from our January survey played a key role in that process. And though time has passed, those responses remain vital to shaping what we are and what we aim to become. First, we are glad that to most, the server has felt like a welcoming place for everyone. This has always been our intention, and we remain committed to ensuring every member feels welcome, regardless of background or identity. We know there's always room for growth, and we remain committed to making sure every voice here feels heard and respected. According to the survey, our most appreciated elements are the episodes themselves and the interactions on voice chat. While side experiences like Minecraft or FFWWE have their niche, our focus going forward will center around what makes future Foundation special. Expect more episodes, more weekend casuals, and increased presence in voice channels when possible, of course. Don't worry, our niche events aren't disappearing. FFWWE will be more spontaneous and relaxed, with less pressure to maintain detailed records. And Minecraft will return, potentially through a Pokecraft or Classic Adventure. As always, if you'd like to help host something official, reach out to the administration. We'd love to have you involved. We've also heard your feedback about expanding the content pack. After months of optimization, we're now ready to introduce new characters, maps, and music that breathe fresh life into our server. More on that later in the video. Character selection is evolving. Emoji signups are no longer the standard due to limitations with Discord boosts. Instead, we now use a dedicated Wikia page, which outlines all available characters and new signup rules. And now, for the first time, you can submit characters outside the selection list. Just provide splash art, a description, a G-mod model, and meet the listed criteria in the characters page. That's it. Your creativity sets the limit. For pack 3 characters, to make it absolutely clear, you may use them only upon prior approval, and no more than 2 pack 3 characters can appear per episode, including the host. If you need help porting a character, reach out. We'd rather assist with that than risk lagging the server. Animations are allowed, so long as they don't damage the experience in any way. The big question, should the future Foundation server stay private or go public? Initially, we considered Discord's experimental clan feature, but after 5 months of waiting, we've moved forward. We are becoming a public community server. This decision brings new energy and new members. However, with that growth comes responsibility. All users must verify their email and agree to our rules before joining. Failure to comply means removal. This is to ensure that people get the opportunity to experience our community, but we also reserve the right to protect what we've built and keep that welcoming feeling we are known for. Episodes are the heart of our experience, and while we're proud of the work behind them, we want to clarify a few things. This is a story-driven server, where players react to circumstance and make decisions based on the story given. However, the players are the ones that make the choices for the characters. The host only controls the situation as well as ensures fairness for everyone alike. There isn't bias for any player, host, character, or participant. There hasn't been nor will ever be bias for anyone. Please understand that at times, choices have to be made within minutes or seconds of an event happening, leaving little to no reaction time from which to think on the fairest outcome, and at times, this can result in less than optimal results. Remember, this is a free experience, created out of love and passion. Sometimes we need time to recharge, and when that happens, we take it. But we always return better than before. And if you want to speed up that process, help us out. We'd love to have you on board. With regards to our episodes, as you've seen from our trailer, we have decided to continue the story past Episode 5. This was always the idea. Episode 5 marked the end of our introduction saga. But the story doesn't stop there. In fact, it's just beginning. We're restructuring future episodes into well-defined arcs. Gigas' story, originally intended as Episode 6, will now appear in Episode 8, where it truly belongs. Episode 6 will begin a brand new arc, with an episode that is very meaningful to this community for what it symbolizes. The first ever attempt to host, one that sadly never came to be, will become a reality. The foundation to our future Foundation server. How exciting is that? Danganronpa 4 is a topic of high debate in the community. These are characters created by players that were put into a background story on Episode 2, and showcase the killing game that the character Salvador de Miranda, as well as Sora from Episode 1, took a part of. This event is the catalyst for the story, the moment all went wrong, and thus it is one of the most important pieces of background storytelling we have. We understand that some people feel adrift with this because these characters aren't their own, but instead of seeing it that way, please see them the same way you perceive characters from another Danganronpa fan game, such as Project Eden's Garden, Danganronpa Rebirth, or the Danganronpa Another franchise. These are characters with a defined story, one we will experience in the near future. More on that later in the video. Regarding Overseer, each saga has a character it revolves around. In Season 1, it is undeniably Overseer, as we explore the story of the survivor whose quest to revive his sister leads him astray. His saga concluded with Episode 5, and with every new saga, there'll be a new character to be the focus of. We will follow up on a different survivor and their story, as well as another key character from a previous episode. However, the Overseer will still be around, occasionally, meaningfully. But this next chapter belongs to someone else. We heard you loud and clear on this one. We will keep sporadic appearances happening, but we will make them take meaning each time and not overdo them. We're pleased to announce that moving forward, only one episode out of the entire upcoming season will be precasted. That means episodes 6 through 9 will be open for everyone, allowing you to choose your own character freely. To support this structure, each episode will include a set of specific requirements to help guide your character selection. Some characters will need to meet certain conditions to participate, and all the necessary information will be posted on the sign-up page for that episode. Maintaining an archive of each episode is crucial. The future Foundation experience thrives on continuity, on knowing what's come before, so you're prepared for what's next. But let's be honest, writing long-form summaries is exhausting. Discord summaries often run between 40,000 and 80,000 words, and having to watch over 20 or so points of view from characters, each with about 3 to 5 hours of view time, if not more, while slowing down to take pictures. Producing them consistently has led to burnout, especially when the burden falls on just a few contributors. Worse yet, many players skip reading them altogether, making all that effort feel wasted. So we've developed a better solution: 3 distinct tiers of summaries to serve different needs and audiences. Discord summaries will now be kept short and essential. These will now only cover the basic facts: what happened, the motive, vote results, and character deaths. They're designed for backup, to help players and reserves, to serve as a quick reference, not deep lore. The Wikia will have the main summaries for each episode. These are the new core. Each episode will have a detailed yet concise summary posted on our wiki, highlighting key events, character decisions, and outcomes. Anyone can read them, and more importantly, anyone can help write them. Video summaries are the most immersive way to relive an episode. With full narration, live footage, and the original music used during gameplay, these recaps will bring each arc to life. Because of their complexity, they'll be released once per year, covering 2 to 3 episodes at a time. We believe this new system will ease the burden on our team, speed up our production process, and give everyone the opportunity to engage with the story on their own terms. Best performance will continue, as it is widely regarded as one of our most unique features. Moreover, it will now be featured on a dedicated channel, complete with full results, new guidelines, and improved transparency about how winners are chosen. More information will follow later in this video. Thank you to all who are interested in co-hosting on an episode. We will include you as soon as we start delivering on these upcoming episodes and planning for future ones. Now for a major change. We are officially moving away from AI-generated artwork. Over the past 5 months, Aleo has practiced drawing daily to provide a more authentic and emotionally grounded visual experience. From here on, most new visuals will be hand-drawn, and while some older AI artwork may remain temporarily, we intend to replace it over time. We want future Foundation to feel personal, crafted, not artificial. That's the experience you deserve. However, AI voice changers and text-to-speech tools will continue to be used where necessary, particularly in summary videos or segments like this one, when voice recording isn't feasible or too time-consuming. You also asked about episode structure. On average, an episode follows this timeline. Daily life, deadly life, and trial all take about an hour each. Executions, prologue, mode of announcement, and investigations take about 10 minutes each, but it varies. This results in episodes averaging around 4 hours total. Moreover, sometimes people don't kill in the specified amount of time. This will push the timer 20 to 40 minutes over, depending on the speed of the kill. This, as well as delays from late arrivals or slow decisions, can push this up to 5 hours. When this occurs, we may introduce more severe motives to ensure progression and maintain suspense once the timers run out. We will also be more strict with punctuality when it comes to episodes. Now, let us explain the why of it all. Why so much time for daily and deadly life? Because they matter. Those 2 hours are essential to build character relationships and emotional investment. Without that, death loses its impact. A trial loses its weight. That tension, those bonds, are what make the experience unforgettable. If you'd like to lower the time it takes to play, please keep these 3 things in mind. Trials can be stopped midway by users when agreeing to vote. Arrive early so we can start early. And don't be afraid to take action in this game. That's what it's all about, right? It's not about the destination, but rather the experience. This is Danganronpa. Most of the participants will die. Keep in mind this, and treasure the time you are in. That makes the most out of this experience. To wrap up, here are a few final notes based on your recent feedback. All rules will be strictly enforced, with no exceptions, including for administrators. Everyone is welcome here, so long as the rules are followed. Discrimination, harassment, dogpilling, or exclusion will not be tolerated on any user at any time. Killing game mechanics will continue to evolve. While Danganronpa may be a one-trick pony, each episode will bring its own unique twist. At times, some experiences, for example school mode, will provide something more foreign. While this doesn't 100% deviate from the established formula, we at least expect that each experience will be unique in its execution. and not something you can find elsewhere. We'll continue hosting one casual session per week, rotating among Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. These are not mandatory and may occur during ongoing episodes when feasible. And no, Alejo is not Zamasu. We hope that with this we have explained everything to your satisfaction. We've spent years building this world. These past 5 months were no exception. With each change, we aim to improve, to grow, and to create something unlike anything else. Thank you for your patience, your passion, and your belief in what we're creating together. And now, let's continue with the character reveal.
Down the begin. You're in too deep to go back again. Cash is pay to play. You want more hits than lemonade. No, you don't own me. You don't even know me. This vagabond with a two-pop.
True control is knowing when to act and when to let go. There is a saying that death and taxes are the only certainties in life, and I wholeheartedly believe this. Everything living has to die. To die, you need not apply. After all, death is just another number in the ledger.
The world will not forget Arasaka.
coming, the numbing. So we dive on into the deeper end for a blissful kiss from Judas' lips, but it's coming. Oh yeah, the numbing. Supernova, your daddy's second beam. You won't feel a thing. Sleepwalking, your daddy's second beam. You won't feel a thing.
We've reached the halfway point of our reveal video. Over 34 characters have been introduced so far, and this is only the beginning. But characters and videos aren't the only new elements we've been working on. We're proud to unveil some of the newest features being integrated into the Neo Future Foundation server, starting with one of our most ambitious tools yet. Introducing the Neo Future Foundation Wikia 2.0. After much planning and collaboration, we've moved our narrative into a dedicated and fully structured Wikia site, designed to host the expanding world of our project in one accessible living archive. With over 212 meticulously curated pages, the Wikia features an overview of the storyline, complete summaries for each episode, and dedicated character profiles for all participants. Explore critical lore such as the Tragedy Across the Seas or the Chronicles, and navigate easily through our useful links section, where you'll find categories like current survivors, permanently deceased characters, major locations, interactive minigames, and our brand new character selection interface, as mentioned before. Curious about which class Yosuke Hanamura or Wolfgang Akire belong to, or anyone else for that matter? Our classes section has you covered. Want to know more about the various factions shaping this world? Visit the factions page to dive into their histories, goals, and influence. All official emojis, splash art, and available character artwork are also archived here. Please keep in mind, the Wikia is a continuous work in progress. Updates and expansions will occur regularly as the story unfolds, and most importantly, this is a community-driven project. If you have ideas, suggestions, or simply wish to contribute, we encourage you to take the initiative. Help us refine character entries, expand world-building details, and make this universe as immersive and complete as possible. Have you ever found yourself wondering how the story of Danganronpa connects to the expansive world of the Neo Future Foundation? Look no further. We proudly introduce the Neo Future Foundation Timeline, a massive, ever-growing reference tool that compiles over 44,000 words across 152 pages. This ambitious timeline organizes the entire Danganronpa universe into a clear and sequential structure. It includes canonical material from across the franchise, from the light novels Danganronpa, Kirigiri, Tagami, and Killer Killer, to the core stories of Danganronpa 0, and the fan-made story of Danganronpa Another, each recognized as canon within our Neo Future Foundation storyline. Alongside these entries, the timeline also details the entire Neo Future Foundation story in chronological order, integrating as many details as possible to provide a cohesive, immersive overview of this interconnected world. This work was made possible thanks to the incredible efforts of Strygentine from DeviantArt. Please consider supporting their contributions. They've played an essential role in bringing this vision to life. At the beginning of the document, you'll also find detailed author notes from both Strygentine and Aleholance. These notes explain key decisions, adjustments, and timeline placements, ensuring that all narrative elements, both official and adapted, align as faithfully and logically as possible. And here's a fun fact. Every episode in the Neo Future Foundation story takes place in real time, aligned to the actual days they were played. That is, with one small exception, Episode 5. It canonically takes place on a Sunday, even though it originally aired on a Saturday.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
We hope this timeline helps you better understand the broader narrative, not just of our project, but of Danganronpa as a whole. It's designed to be an accessible and interactive resource, whether you're deeply involved in the future Foundation world, or simply a fan seeking greater clarity on the lore. A lot of care and dedication went into creating this resource. We hope it proves useful, insightful, and above all, inspiring for your journey through this universe. Alongside our character reveals and storyline expansions, we've also implemented a wide range of Discord server updates, designed to enhance both player experience and newcomer accessibility. Your feedback has been invaluable, and we're excited to walk you through these new improvements. To begin, we are now officially recognized as a community server. With this change comes a newly revamped welcome page, formerly known as the About Us section. This page now includes clear guidance on who we are, what we do, how to participate, frequently asked questions, and an overview of our server roles. Plus, 2 optional roles are now available: Game Party, for users who want to be notified about casual events and games, and Mude Collectors, for those interested in card collecting. Our rules have been consolidated into a single organized forum channel, divided into 3 essential sections: General Rules, covering basic conduct across the server and voice channels; Event Rules, guidelines for behavior during hosted events and their aftermath; Episode Rules, standards that govern participation in episodes and casual roleplays. These 3 sections define the core of our community experience. We kindly ask all members to read and follow them accordingly. We ask you to take the time to read through them all whenever possible. We've also introduced a brand new awards section, which transparently displays the results of our best performance ceremonies. Here, you'll find player statistics, voting tallies, placements, and runner-ups. Special thanks to Bratstall for helping bring this feature to life. To streamline server communication, major announcements will now be limited strictly to server-wide updates, or very important changes. All other event-related news has been merged into a single organized events channel, which includes announcements for episodes, game parties, special events, casual games, and birthdays. Additionally, a new updates channel provides ongoing development notes. This channel is optional to follow and will not include regular pings from Alejo, Alex, or Dante. Our art and art discussion channels will be phased out in favor of a new art forum, allowing creators to showcase their work through individual threads. This gives each piece the spotlight it deserves while minimizing content flooding. This change will take place in a week after the Best Performance ceremony concludes. Don't worry, your past submissions will remain visible in the Archives section, and reposting is welcome. The Pack 3 Showcase channel has been reimagined as Pack 3 Share, an open space for sharing both Pack 3 images and code. We encourage users to organize their posts by category to help others find and learn from your work. Spectator mode has returned, now as a dedicated stage channel. Hosts have full control of the discussion, while the audience may listen and request to speak. This change ensures order and enhances experience for all. Our new tutorials channel offers beginner-friendly resources created by Alejolands and your Toast 4, including guides on model porting and other creative tools. Special thanks to your Toast 4 for contributing to this new initiative. The suggestion system has been redesigned with new forums for better organization. Categories now include gameplay, player models, music, and the newly added add-on suggestions. As a result, the suggestion discussion channel has been retired, and all previous suggestions will be archived. The summary discussion and writing assistance channels will be discontinued following the completion of the Episode 5 Discord summary. Please understand that while is underway, due to the amount of work and the availability of the summary in video, text, and timeline format, this will no longer be a priority, but rather something to finish at our pace. Again, Episode 5 will be the last cohesive Discord summary. Every new summary will be short and to the point. The Chronicles have been updated into a new forum format, complete with enhanced visuals, new information, and direct links to the timeline and Wikia. Explore these expanded entries when you have the time. The Spoiler Channel is now a forum where users can create dedicated spaces for specific games or series. We ask all members to remain courteous and post spoilers in the appropriate threads, particularly for recent releases. Voice channels have been simplified. We now offer a single general voice channel, a dedicated AFK channel, and a new Grand Stage channel, our main platform for major video and stream events. Several legacy channels have been archived or retired to streamline server navigation. These include Minecraft, Game Creation, AI-generated channel, Yggdrasil, the No channel, the Yes channel, the Solokuma channel, the Political Game channel, the Locker Room and Wrestling Results channels, the Game Night channel, All School Mode channels, the Sims Big Brother channel, the Mole channel, the Maps channel, the Survivor channel, the Crisis Response channel, the Discord Suggestions channel, the Old Events, Announcements, and Casuals channels, and the Security Room channel. These will all be archived. Other notable changes include a brand new server icon, banner, and invite background, as well as a fresh set of server rules for new users to accept before joining. As we approach Season 2, we'll also be updating our emoji catalog. Feel free to suggest new ones, or let us know which current ones you'd like to keep. Oh, and yes, we did add a new Donkey Kong sticker, because why not? We hope these updates make the Neo Future Foundation Discord a more streamlined, organized, and engaging space for everyone. Now, before we continue with the next segment, we'd like to take a moment to introduce a few new characters who joined us after the initial recording process. With so many new characters introduced, and even more to come, gameplay becomes more important than ever. That's why we're proud to introduce two major updates that will elevate your experience across the board. First, all of our episode maps are being significantly reworked, keeping the original vision intact while enhancing quality, detail, and cohesion. This includes episode locations like the J.S. Kirigiri ship, Arcadia Island, Shirakuro Island, the Grape and Strawberry Houses, Amsterdam, and the Arasaka Tower. However, one map remains corrupted, Mikado's Hero Academy, still overtaken by Gigas. It will remain unavailable until further notice. Next, one of our most ambitious upgrades, the Music Pack Revamp. Completely restructured and reworked, it now includes over 1,000 new tracks from a vast array of fan-favorite titles, including Eden's Garden, 100 Line Academy, Raincode, The Great Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Cadenza Remix, Miles Edgeworth Investigation Remix, GoldenEye 007, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Persona 3 Reloaded, Half-Life, Majora's Mask, Super Mario Galaxy, the Mother franchise, No More Heroes, Subnautica, Terraria's Calamity Mod, Minecraft Tricky Trials, Under Night in Birth, Lobotomy Corporation, Library of Ruina, and Ana's Dream Barbecue. Furthermore, each episode will now feature character themes for all characters, reminiscence tracks, intro themes, and host themes, all curated within Music Pack 5. Not only do we preserve the tracks we know and love, we've added a literal 1,000 more, making this the most robust and immersive musical experience yet. And the best part? All of this comes with a modest increase of just over 1 gigabyte, with no loss of quality. How cool is that? Special thanks to Your Toast 4, Dante, Alex, The Great Ego, Silverstep, and everyone else who contributed, voted, or suggested music in our server survey. This couldn't have happened without you, but we're not done yet. Our final gameplay edition is a game changer. Introducing the Future Foundation Clue System, a brand new mechanic to enhance trials and investigations. You'll now be able to gather, create, and fire truth bullets during trials to highlight evidence, make your case, and counter arguments, giving yourself a time to talk without interruptions. This system was built to empower players, deepen immersion, and create dynamic trial moments like never before. We've poured months of work into these changes, and we can't wait to see how you use them to shape the world of the Neo Future Foundation. We hope you're as excited as we are. And now, let's continue with the next set of character reveals. The second wave of newcomers has arrived.
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa. Danganronpa.
We hope you've enjoyed this experience. Everything you've seen today, every reveal, every change, has been the result of months of dedication, creativity, and passion. We sincerely hope it met your expectations. Before we conclude this character rotation and formally close the ceremony, there's one final subject to discuss: our upcoming episodes. Although Season 1 is nearing its end, it's not quite finished just yet. Before we officially begin Season 2, 2 bonus episodes, smaller in scale but rich in story, will serve as a bridge between arcs. As teased in our trailer, we return to the Netherlands to follow the fate of the train survivors, a group who escaped the nuclear blast in Amsterdam. In the aftermath, they must scavenge, rebuild, tend to their sick, and endure the toxic fallout, only to find themselves drawn into a disturbing copycat killing game, born of desperation, sorrow, and a fierce will to survive. Their story will begin soon. Sign-ups will open just a few days after this reveal. Then, we journey back, revisiting an older project now rebuilt with clear direction and new ambition. School Mode, inspired by Danganronpa V3's ultimate talent development plan and Persona 3, tells the story of Makoto's Hope's Peaks revival. Under his leadership, the Academy reaches new heights. But cracks begin to show as their school system is tested by new students and new challenges. Both bonus episodes will run for 3 chapters each, offering a more compact but impactful narrative. Following these prologues, the next great chapter begins. Season 2, the Fracture Saga, opens with episodes 6 and 7, launching us into new territory filled with twists, characters, revelations, and a rescue operation meant to reach the stars. Finally, at long last, we will tell the story that started it all. Episode 0, our first minus episode, depicts the tragedy across the seas in vivid detail. Featuring over 200 newly illustrated images and more to come, this episode will showcase the event in excruciating detail, while players take their chances to see if they'd fare better than the survivors in this tragedy. Every chapter is being written with trial outcomes, drama, and new mysteries to come. And yes, we have enough space for anyone to participate, as our spots for co-hosts will allow as such for this episode alone. More details will come as we get near each episode. Once episode 0 concludes, we will take a short break to regroup, to breathe, and to prepare for the final 3 episodes of the season. We truly hope this structure brings you excitement and satisfaction. We've poured everything into making this possible, into earning your trust, and building a world worth investing in. From all of us here, thank you for your time, your support, and your love for this project. We will see you soon.
The sea calls back to